All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning, I am Saira Mujtaba and with me is Subhadra Ramachandran. The headlines. New guidelines for opening up more activities in non-containment zones come into force today. States given flexibility to open schools and colleges after October 15. Cinema halls and multiplexes to open with 50% capacity from 15th of this month. India extends ban on international flights till October 31. Notification for first phase of assembly elections in Bihar to be issued today. Country receives above normal rainfall during monsoon season this year. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Rajasthan Royals by 37 runs in Dubai. In our special series on the occasion of the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, we begin this bulletin with Bapu Ki Baat. In a post-press speech, Mahatma Gandhi spoke about the farmers. He wanted that the economic condition of the farmers should improve and they get remunerative price for their produce.
किसानों को पूरा दाम न मिले या तो बहुत कम दाम मिले तो ऐसा तो होना नहीं चाहिए। तो किसानों को ज्यादा दाम दें वो तो मैं समझ सकूंगा और वो किसानों को ज्यादा दाम देते हैं इससे कोई दाम बढ़ता है वो तो दूसरी बात हो गई। तो ये तो विशेष शुद्ध कोड़ी की बात हुई, सच्चा हिसाब करने की बात हुई। तो हिसाब सच्चा करें और हिसाब बता दें कि देखो इतना तो किसानों को मिला है और इसमें कोई दूसरा खा नहीं सकता है, सीधा किसानों की जेब में चला जाता है।
And now news in detail. The Home Ministry has issued new guidelines for opening up of more activities in areas outside the containment zones. These guidelines, which come into effect from today, further extends the process of reopening of several activities in the country. Starting today, states and union territories have been directed not to impose any local lockdown outside containment zones without prior consultation with the central government. There will also be no restriction on interstate and intra-state movement of goods and persons as well. All activities have been permitted outside containment zones, barring international travel of passengers, except as permitted by the Home Ministry. Our correspondent has filed this report.
Under the new guidelines, cinema halls and theatres have been allowed to reopen with 50% capacity starting from 15th October. B2B exhibitions, swimming pool for training purposes have also been allowed with strict compliance to the guidelines to be issued by ministries concerned. In a major relaxation, states and union territories have been empowered to further relax gathering of people beyond 100 in number. Postgraduate students of science stream and research scholars studying in universities and central institutions will also be able to get back to their classrooms after nod from the authorities concerned. Decision regarding reopening of schools after 15th of this month has been left to the state governments with clear instructions to continue with online classes as the preferred mode. With Deependra, Anand Chaturvedi, AIR News, Delhi.
The Home Ministry has informed that strict lockdown will however continue in all the containment zones in the country till 31st of October. The national directives regarding maintaining adequate physical distancing at marketplaces and gatherings will also remain effective. Persons above 65 years of age, people with comorbidities, pregnant women and children below the age of 10 years have been advised to stay at home. The government has also urged to continue encouraging usage of the Arogya Setu app. India has exceeded the 140 per day per million tests as advised by the World Health Organization by more than 5 times. In a tweet, the Health Ministry said, very high levels of testing lead to early identification, prompt isolation and effective treatment of COVID-19 cases. The ministry said this has resulted in sustained low fatality rate. With higher testing, eventually there is a fall in the positivity rate. India's centre-led strategies of enhanced infrastructure, aggressive and easily accessible countrywide testing have led to a surge in the daily testing capacities of the country. The Health Ministry said that more than 15 lakh COVID-19 tests can be done every day.
The recovery rate of COVID patients in Delhi stands at 88.46%. The city recorded recovery of 3,965 patients in the last 24 hours, taking the total number of recovered patients till date to 2,47,446. With increased testing, the city has achieved the remarkable mark of conducting 1,62,103 corona tests per million of its population. A total of 3,390 new confirmed cases of coronavirus were reported in the national capital during the last 24 hours. The Maharashtra government has extended coronavirus-induced lockdown till October 31, but also said that hotels, restaurants and bars will be allowed to operate from October 5 with restricted capacity. All the trains originating and ending their journey within the state will be restarted with immediate effect subject to health protocols for COVID-19. In Gujarat, total 1,17,231 patients have recovered from COVID-19 till now. The recovery rate has improved to 85.32%. More from our correspondent.
The total cases detected so far in Gujarat have reached up to 1,37,394. 1,372 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. More than 44,18,000 tests have been carried out in the state till date, out of which 61,966 tests were carried out yesterday. Maximum 298 new cases reported from Surat. At present, total active cases in the state are 16,710, out of which 86 patients are on ventilator. 11 patients died yesterday, taking the total death due to COVID-19 up to 3,453. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
Tamil Nadu government is analyzing crucial COVID-19 data using the information technology tools to devise various strategies to tackle the pandemic. The works of applying the IT tools for several key projects, including on health, were reviewed by the state IT minister R.B. Uday Kumar in Chennai yesterday. More from our correspondent.
The State Information Technology Department is in the process of analyzing various dimensions of the prevailing COVID-19 pandemic using the vast database being collected about it. The IT projects that are underway by the department include developing a voice response system to help the public in responding to the challenges being posed by the pandemic. Monitoring the people under isolation using the IT tools is another scheme that is being taken up. It is also involved in developing an attendance system by recognizing the facial features of a beneficiary and the staff of various offices. The department is working on a unique scheme of offering all the basic documents relating to a person right from the birth certificate without her or him even applying for it. Jai Singh, AIR News, Chennai.
In Karnataka, the total number of COVID-19 positive cases has crossed the 6 lakh mark with an addition of 8,856 new cases yesterday. A record number of 94,886 samples were tested across the state yesterday, which has taken the total number of tests to 49,1,083. At the same time, 8,890 people recovered and discharged from various hospitals in the state, and the total number of recoveries have gone up to 4,85,268.
The Brihan Mumbai Electric Supply and Transport, or BEST undertaking, has decided to hire 1,000 buses from the state-owned Maharashtra State Road Transport Corporation, or MSRTC, for the convenience of the commuters. BEST provides public transport service to the financial capital of the country through its over 3,000 buses. Details from our correspondent.
The Mumbai Municipal Commissioner, Iqbal Singh Chahal, during an online meeting, asked the BEST to manage its bus operations effectively in city with more planning, as the number of BEST buses running at present are proving to be inadequate, more so as the local suburban trains, considered to be the lifeline of Mumbai, are currently being operated only for essential services staff. A senior official of the MSRTC informed that it has already handed over 200 buses on lease to the municipal transport body. Meanwhile, the municipal corporation has also directed that notices be served to hospitals concerned for delayed updation of information about vacant beds on the BMC's dashboard. Sonali Ghadar Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
Directorate General of Civil Aviation, DGCA, has extended till October 31 the suspension of scheduled international commercial passenger services to and from India. However, the international cargo flights and passenger flights approved by the government will continue. The DGCA said the international scheduled flights may be allowed on selected routes on case-to-case basis. The announcement comes after the Home Ministry issued fresh guidelines under the Unlock 5 plan, in which it mentioned that international air travel of passengers will not be permitted in the current phase of unlock, except as permitted by the government. However, to allow gradual movement of passenger traffic, air bubble agreements have been signed with a number of countries. In Madhya Pradesh, state election officials have asked political parties to ensure that they follow the guidelines issued by the Commission regarding COVID-19 during the election process. A meeting of all recognized political parties was organized yesterday for the by-elections to be held in 28 assembly constituencies. Chief Electoral Officer Veera Rana said polling will be held on November the 3rd and counting of votes will be taken up on 10th of November. More details from our correspondent.
During the meeting, election officials informed that for submitting nominations, the number of persons and vehicles accompany the candidate should be restricted due to corona pandemic. In door-to-door campaigns, the number should be restricted to 5 persons including the candidate. During road shows, the convoy of vehicles must be restricted to 5 vehicles excluding vehicles used for security. Meanwhile, the number of COVID-19 cases in the state climbed up to around 128,000 after 2004 new cases were reported in the past 24 hours, while the number of recovered cases in the state rose to more than 1 lakh. Sanjeev Sharma, AIR News, Bhopal.
You are listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. New guidelines for opening up more activities in non-containment zones come into force today. States given flexibility to open schools and colleges after October 15. Cinema halls and multiplexes to open with 50% capacity from the 15th of this month. India extends ban on international flights till October 31. Notification for first phase of assembly elections in Bihar to be issued today. Country receives above normal rainfall during monsoon season this year. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Rajasthan Royals by 37 runs in Dubai. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
The notification for the first phase of assembly elections in Bihar will be issued today. With the notification, the process of filing of nominations will begin today. 71 assembly constituencies spread over 16 districts will go to polls in this phase on the 28th of this month. The last date of nomination is 8th of October and scrutiny of nominations will take place the next day. Last date of withdrawal of candidature is 12th of October. More from our correspondent.
In the first phase of elections, assembly constituencies of Gaya, Nawada, Aurangabad, Jamui, Rohtas, Kaimur, Patna, Bhagalpur, Banka, Munger, Lakhisarai, Shekhpura, Bhojpur, Buxar, Arwal and Jahanabad districts would go to the polls. In the poll-bound 71 assembly constituencies, most of them are Naxal violence affected and sensitive in security point of view. In view of COVID-19 pandemic, the Election Commission has first time given an option of online filing of nomination papers to the candidates. This can be done through portals of Chief Electoral Officer or their respective district election officers. Additionally, candidates can also deposit their security money online for their candidature. Dharmendra Kumar Rai, AIR News, Patna.
In Chhattisgarh, by-election for Maharashtra Assembly constituency will be held on November 3rd. The seat fell vacant following the death of former Chief Minister Ajit Jogi. This assembly constituency is reserved for scheduled tribe. The Chief Electoral Officer of Chhattisgarh, Reena Baba Sahab Kangle, said that the election process will be held ensuring all protocols for COVID-19. In the second day of the ongoing session of the Odisha Assembly yesterday, COVID-19 caused heated exchanges between the ruling and opposition lawmakers. While the opposition brought an adjournment motion over the mismanagement of COVID-19 situation by the government tabled the Epidemic Diseases Odisha Amendment Bill 2020, seeking to enhance punishment for violators of COVID-19 guidelines. More from our correspondent.
COVID-19 triggered an uproar in the Assembly yesterday, first through an adjournment notice and then over the passage of the Epidemic Amendment Bill. While the opposition BJP and Congress alleged severe mismanagement of COVID-19 situation in the state, including underreporting of both case count and death count by the state government, The latter defended its good work, stating the low COVID-19 fatality rate of 0.38% and high recovery rate of more than 80%. During the debate over the bill, which seeks to slam a jail term of 2 years and a fine up to 1 lakh rupees on the COVID-19 protocol violators, while the government argued it as a tool against community transmission of the virus, the opposition alleged it as a weapon against itself to be misused by the government to settle political score. Girish Chandra Das, Bhubaneswar.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah have congratulated scientists and engineers for the successful test flight of Brahmos surface-to-surface supersonic cruise missile featuring indigenous booster and airframe section along with many other made-in-India subsystems. The Prime Minister has said that Brahmos supersonic cruise missile has achieved yet another milestone with the successful test launch. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said that the successful test launch showcases enhanced operational capabilities and additional indigenous technologies. Home Minister Amit Shah also said that this state-of-the-art weapon was a testimony of India's defence potential. The Special CBI Court in Lucknow has acquitted all 32 accused in the Babri demolition case. Special CBI Judge Surendra Kumar Yadav said that demolition happened at the spur of the moment and it was not a pre-planned incident. He said that there were not enough evidences to prove the allegations made by the CBI in this case. While delivering his verdict, the special judge said that the demolition was done by some anti-social elements and there was no alliance between such persons and the accused.
Government has further extended the last date for filing ITR for assessment year 2019-2020 till 30th of November this year. Earlier, the last date for filing the belated and revised ITRs for financial year ending on 31st March 2019 was 30th September. India and China have agreed to sincerely implement the agreement between the foreign ministers of the two countries in order to ensure disengagement at all the friction points along the line of actual control LAC, the 19th meeting of the Working Mechanism for Consultation and Coordination on India-China Border Affairs WMCC, which was held yesterday in virtual mode and was attended by delegation from both the sides, reviewed the current situation along the LAC in the India-China border areas.
India and China have agreed. The Environment Minister Prakash Javadekar has said that India aims to restore 26 million hectares of degraded and deforested land and achieve land degradation neutrality by 2030. He said this is a target which shows our ambition. Addressing the UN Summit on Biodiversity, Mr. Javadekar said that India has a culture of not just protecting and conserving nature, but living in harmony with nature. Maharashtra Circle of India Post will release picture postcards on Sawantwadi toys today to mark 151 years of postcards in India. The postcard, inspired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi's call to make the country a global toy hub, will be released by H.C. Agrawal, Chief Postmaster General, Maharashtra Circle of India Post, through video conferencing. Prime Minister Modi on August the 30th, during his monthly Mann Ki Baat program, talked about making toys of the world and highlighted the ability of India to become a toy hub.
भारत के कुछ क्षेत्र टॉय क्लस्टर्स यानी खिलौने के केंद्र के रूप में भी विकसित हो रहे हैं, जैसे कर्नाटक के रामनगरम में चन्नापटना, आंध्र प्रदेश के कृष्णा में कोंडापल्ली, तमिलनाडु में तंजौर, असम में धुबरी, उत्तर प्रदेश का वाराणसी, कई ऐसे स्थान हैं। आपको ये जानकर आश्चर्य होगा कि ग्लोबल टॉय इंडस्ट्री 7 लाख करोड़ रुपये से भी अधिक की है, लेकिन भारत का हिस्सा उसमें बहुत कम है। गृह उद्योग हो, छोटे और लघु उद्योग हो, एमएसएमई हो, इसके साथ साथ बड़े उद्योग और निजी उद्यमी भी इसके दायरे में आते हैं। इसे आगे बढ़ाने के लिए देश को मिलकर मेहनत करनी होगी।
The National Institute of Naturopathy, Pune, in association with the Regional Outreach Bureau Maharashtra and Goa of the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, is organizing a 48-day-long series of webinars starting 2nd of October, that is Gandhi Jayanti. The Ayush Ministry said the webinar will be held from 11 a.m. to 12 noon every day and can be viewed on Facebook at www.facebook.com/PuneIN.
The year-long celebrations to mark the 150th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi, will come to an end tomorrow. Mahatma Gandhi's life continues to inspire the current generation of youth. To inculcate Gandhian values in today's youth, efforts are being made to reach them through modern means of communication in which they are comfortable with. More from our correspondent.
Albert Einstein once said about Mahatma Gandhi that generations to come will scarcely believe that such a man once walked upon this earth. The chairman of Academy for Creative Teaching in Bengaluru, Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, spoke to AIR News.
When we are celebrating the 150th year of Mahatma's birth, it is high time we should reach out to young people of the country to tell them about the significance of being Mahatma. Everybody is not called Mahatma. Let them understand the meaning of his life, the meaning of the symbols that he has given to us. And the best way to reach out to young people is through technology. When I gave lectures on Gandhi, a few hundreds heard it, but students of mine put it on YouTube. It is viewed by 2,50,00,000 people. I would never reach such people in my life anytime.
Today's generation can channelize their energy to nation building only if they are fed with values for which Gandhiji fought throughout his life. Sudhindra, AIR News, Bengaluru.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has greeted President Nadu Covid on his birthday today. In a tweet, Mr. Naidu said he is known for his simplicity, warmth, vision, exemplary leadership and concern for the poor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also greeted President Nadu Covid on his birthday today. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said his rich insights and wise understanding of policy matters are great assets for the nation. He said that Mr. Covid is extremely compassionate towards serving the vulnerable. Home Minister Amit Shah has also greeted Nadu Covid on his birthday. Mr. Shah said his dedication to the welfare and empowerment of the poor and deprived sections of the country inspires everyone. Mr. Shah said his intelligence and skill has given a new strength to the country. Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has also greeted the President of India. He said his dignified behavior has further enhanced the prestige of this post.
The closing ceremony of the third Rashtriya Poshan Maah, which was celebrated from 7th to 30th of September this year, was held yesterday through virtual mode. Identification of severely acute malnourished children and their management and plantation of new tree gardens were focused activities during the Poshan Maah. The country has received above normal monsoon during the 4-month southwest monsoon season from June to September. Talking to AIR News, India Meteorological Department scientist R.K. Jainamani said this is for the second consecutive year that the country received above normal rainfall.
India received very high rainfall and September ended with 104%. And this is the second consecutive year India got the above normal rainfall. 2019, India also received the high rainfall of 110% of long period average. And if we look the data right from 1901 onward, then earlier two consecutive monsoon was observed in 1958 and 59. And this is after almost so many years, we got another consecutive good month. So this is a very good news for our country.
Kolkata Knight Riders beat Rajasthan Royals by 37 runs in IPL cricket in Dubai last night. Rajasthan Royals were restricted to 137 for 9 in 20 overs after being handed a target of 175. All-rounder Tom Curran for 54 was the highest run scorer, with none of the other batsmen able to make an impact. Shivam Mavi, Kamlesh Nagarkoti and Varun Chakravarti accounted for 2 dismissals apiece. Shivam Mavi was adjudged man of the match. Earlier, Kolkata Knight Riders posted a total of 174 for 6 in 20 overs after being sent into bat. Opener Shubman Gill was the highest run scorer for the side, scoring 47 runs off 34 deliveries in an innings comprising of 5 boundaries and a 6. With KKR losing wickets at regular intervals and no batsman really getting set after Gill, Eoin Morgan hit an unbeaten 34 off 23 to help KKR post a competitive total. English pacer Jofra Archer was the pick of the bowlers for Rajasthan Royals, accounting for 2 wickets while conceding only 18 runs. And today's encounter, Kings 11 Punjab will take on Mumbai Indians in Abu Dhabi.
In French Open tennis, an injured Achilles heel cut short Serena Williams' latest bid for a 24th Grand Slam title before her second-round match yesterday. Williams hurt herself during her semi-final loss at the US Open 3 weeks ago and said she hasn't had enough time to properly heal. The sudden announcement came roughly an hour before the 39-year-old American was supposed to head out onto Court Philippe Chatrier to face Svetlana Pironkova. Williams said it is more than likely she will not play another tournament in 2020. In men's singles, Stan Wawrinka registered a comfortable 6-3, 6-2, 3-6, 6-1 win over Dominic Kofer. However, both the players were startled mid-match by a loud bang that was heard across Paris. Paris police informed that the loud noise wasn't an explosion, but a fighter plane which has broken the sound barrier to track a civilian plane that lost contact with the air traffic control. Earlier, world number 3 Dominic Thiem survived a third set wobble to defeat his American opponent Jack Sock 6-1, 6-3, 7-6, 4-8 and book his French Open third round spot. And now let us take a look at today's weather forecast. In the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, the minimum temperature was 20 degrees Celsius in Jammu, while the maximum will be around 34 degrees. The city is likely to have mainly clear sky. In Srinagar, the minimum temperature was around 7 degrees Celsius, while maximum will be around 27 degrees. The city will have mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. Ladakh will have mainly clear sky too, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The temperature is likely to hover between 1 and 21 degrees Celsius. In Gilgit, the temperature is likely to hover between 8 and 23 degrees Celsius. It will have partly cloudy sky. In Muzaffarabad, there will be mainly clear sky, becoming partly cloudy towards the afternoon or evening. The temperature is likely to hover between 14 and 34 degrees Celsius. National capital of Delhi will have mainly clear sky. The minimum temperature was recorded at 22 degrees Celsius and maximum is expected to be around 37 degrees. In Mumbai, there will be partly cloudy sky as well. The minimum temperature was 27 degrees Celsius and the maximum will be around 33 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain. The temperature is likely to hover between 25 and 33 degrees Celsius.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. The top headline of all papers is the acquittal of all the accused in the Babri case. All accused in Babri case acquitted after CBI fails to produce evidence, writes the Times of India, while the Pioneer reports Advani, Joshi, all 32 acquitted in Babri case. Another headline of the same paper reads, BJP RSS Shiv Sena welcome judgment. As the country enters Unlock 5, Hindustan Times writes, greater restart for schools, cinemas, while the Statesman says, cinemas can open with 50% capacity from 15th October, states to decide on schools. The Hindu writes, SC refuses to shift civil services exam from October 4. Papers have also covered the barbs exchange between Trump and Biden as both faced each other in the first debate. The Statesman writes, will you shut up, Biden tells Trump in chaotic debate. And finally, the Hindu writes, in Bharatpur, a kiss of life for newborns with the installation of neonatal respirators at major PHCs in the district.
And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. New guidelines for opening up more activities in non-containment zones come into force today. States given flexibility to open schools and colleges after October 15. Cinema halls and multiplexes to open with 50% capacity from 15th of this month. India extends ban on international flights till October 31. Notification for first phase of assembly elections in Bihar to be issued today. Country receives above normal rainfall during monsoon season this year. And in IPL cricket, Kolkata Knight Riders beat Rajasthan Royals by 37 runs in Dubai. We leave you with Bapu's favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Janto, sung by an artist from South Africa.
Vaishnav Janto, tene kaiye je peed parai jane re, par dukhe upkar kare to ye मन अभिमान नाने ने वैष्णव जन दो तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे सकल लोक मान सहुने बंधे निंदा न करे केनी रे बछ काच मन निश्चल राखे धन धन जननी तेनी रे.
And with that we end the morning news. Have a great day.
तेने कहिए जे पीड़ पराई जाने रे समदृष्टि ने